Today I have an amazing guest from India. And so I would like to invite you to introduce yourself and to tell more about yourself. Who are you and what are you doing? And what is the reason that you participate today to our talk show?
Thank you so much, Veronica. It's absolutely a pleasure to be on this platform today. Uh, so, to tell you, as well as all the viewers, a little bit about myself and what I do. So, this is Dr. Shauli Mukherjee. I would best define myself as a passionate academician, a global thought leader, and an internationally acclaimed inspirational speaker. So I have been working in the education space for more than 23 years now. And I have been the principal as well as the founder principal of some of the reputed schools in West Bengal, India. And few of them have actually been established and started by me. So to name, few of them, I would definitely like to mention Adamus World School, which is a quite, a reputed school in West Bengal, as well as STEM World School. Now, why STEM World School? Because STEM World School happens to be the first STEM school in the entire West Bengal region of India, and it was also eventually awarded for being the second best international day school in the entire West Bengal region by Education World in the year 2016. So that also happens to be my brainchild. So after working for more than 2 decades in the field of school leadership and management, currently I'm associated with the higher education sector, where presently I'm the director of School of Education at one of the premier universities of Eastern India. Well, I would also like to state that, I'm extremely passionate about promotion of child-centric and activity-oriented education all across the globe. And I strongly believe that the purpose of meaningful education is actually to help develop and build lifelong learners, creative thinkers, and responsible global citizens who would be confidently equipped to face the challenges of an uncertain and constantly unfolding future. And in my journey for the last almost 23 years, I have been the recipient of numerous awards and accolades, as well as international recognitions as well. Just to name a few: National Quality Excellence Award, Gem of India Award, National Education Leadership Award, and to top them all, World Peace Award as well. I have also been awarded for being among the top 50 women leaders in education industry and top 20 revolutionary education leaders in India. And very recently, I have also been awarded and recognized as among 99 women achievers in India for the year 2021. Additionally, Veronica, I'm also associated with premier educational organizations across India as well as globally in senior advisory capacity and position. And as mentioned a little a while earlier, that in my current role as the director of School of Education in one of the premier universities of Eastern India, well, I can tell you that I'm absolutely committed towards developing and nurturing the future teachers and the future researchers of tomorrow, whom I believe will definitely be endowed with the ability of inspiring, touching, and impacting the lives of millions of people around them through the ennobling power of education. So, in short, this is something that I do, and this is something that I have been doing for the last 2 decades or so.
Yes, congratulations. So you have amazing achievements, and I'm very proud of you because there are only few women like you are really a role model that can create massive impact around the world and can be an example for many women who are afraid to take action, who are doubting themselves, because there are many talented women, but they are afraid to be themselves and to speak out, so their true potential. And I think that you could be a reason and a role model for them to take action, so to move forward. I have a specific question so for you. How do you think that you can contribute to transform the life of many women around the world? How could you do exactly to help them out?
So that's a wonderful question. Let me just tell you, because, well, as a woman myself, and that too as a woman leader, so Veronica, to tell you the truth, so it also has not been a very, uh, you know, easy journey for me professionally as well as personally. So there had been a lot of challenges, obstacles, and hurdles in my way as well. And especially because I work in the sphere of education. Why do I say so? Because I have strongly felt in the last 2 decades, wherein I have been working in the education sector, that it is really very difficult to bring about any kind of positive transformation in the sphere of education without encountering considerable resistance. And sadly enough, the resistance comes from all corners. It comes from, in fact, all the stakeholders. It comes from the parents, it comes from uh, society at large, it comes from the communities, it also comes from the policy makers, and sometimes it even comes from the teachers. You know, so whenever you try to do something transformational or revolutionary, and that too in the field of education, where people have their mindsets which are like, almost fixed, so it's quite a difficult task. But one thing that I have learned in my life through this long journey is that if your intention is very clear, and if you are clear about your vision and what exactly you want to do with that particular vision, in the long run, I think, whatever difficulties you face or challenges you encounter, they actually become your blessings in disguise, because they make you into a much better, stronger, and a more authentic version of yourself. So that is also very true in terms of a woman leader. Because I feel that, as you have also correctly said, that women have great potentials. So I am actually nobody to tell about this. We all know that each and every woman is actually a wonder woman who is endowed with the ability to create, nurture, and transform. So we all have these powers latent within us, and we are born with these powers. The problem is the way in which the culture or our family or our society socializes us, the women. That is when we start doubting ourselves. That is when we start questioning our abilities. That is when we, start giving in to the conceptions and myths of others and how they look at us. So it is very important for each and every woman to understand that it is not important what society expects out of us, but it's very important what we expect out of ourselves. That is something which is so very important. So, uh, even in the sphere of education, professionally, something that I do, and even outside that. So, I have been, associated with a number of progressive organizations and institutions that work towards women empowerment, women in leadership, and women mentorship. So I'm very, very intricately involved with those institutions. And, I provide mentorship support. Uh, I do my bit and I try to, bring in maybe a little bit of difference to how women view themselves. And, uh, as the role of an educator that I am currently into, so this is something that I do almost on a regular basis because I believe that uh, if you do not know the purpose of your life, if you do not know where you are going, it's useless for you to travel the journey of life. So you need to have a purpose. And for us women, it's even more important and significant.
And so how does influencing the culture, the evolution of education in India? Because I know that this is a huge problem, um, and that many women out there, they are facing these problems because in the families, for example, because in the culture, there isn't permission that it can grow. So how is this happening and why?
Veronica, to be very frank, it's not only about India, it's not only about our culture. In fact, I would like to say that Indian culture is actually quite flexible and quite open and quite liberal. It
Mm.
is quite an advanced culture, you know. Uh, I'm very proud to belong to this particular culture. I am very proud to call myself an Indian because it's a part of our culture that we have always respected women.
Mm.
We have always given them the higher seat, So our culture has always done that. But coming to, the gender bias or the gender stratification or the things that are happening against women, I think these are the issues which are global in nature. So this is not something which is particular and typical to India. So this is a global issue, this is a global problem. And I think women should come in a common platform, no matter wherever they belong to whichever culture they come from, or whatever their geographical boundaries are. I believe that they all need to come together in a common platform uh, to build a whole new and different ecosystem for them where they can actually safely thrive. So that is, I think, the need of the hour. In fact, you know mm, women have been doing so many great things, I mean, worldwide. But the thing is that I always believe that it's very important to understand that the fights, the real fights for us women, it's never outside. No matter however we feel that we need to fight against patriarchy, or we need to fight against a kind of a culture which demeans women, but the fight is never outside. The real fight is always within us.
Inside, yes,
So
exactly.
we have to fight our own inner demons. We have to evolve, we have to grow. That is how we can create a very, very safe ecosystem, a safe, ambience for all of us. And also, I would like to mention one thing categorically here, that one thing we need to do, all women, we need to lift each other up, which we very rarely do. I'm being very frank. So, we need to get rid of those petty and trivial rivalries that are there, women to women. And we need to understand that we are soul sisters, and we need to lift each other up. We need to be happy when I see another woman thriving. I need to celebrate her success. I need to be happy when that particular woman is actually rising in her life. Because by lifting her up, I'm actually lifting myself. So, this is something that I think it is a need of the hour. We all need to do that.
Yes, I'm totally agree with you because when you have a higher level of thinking and education, you have as well also the right mindset, and it's a question of mindset that we should create a specific education to offer so to the another women's globally, offering them the possibility to shift their life and mindset so to the next level, because without a mindset you cannot grow. The mindset is the key to success and to can succeed. And I know, I have been taught as well to people with very, very high position so in the society. And when it comes about personal development, they are really struggling. And I was so surprised, like, wow, oh my gosh. So how is this possible? And I mean, in the Netherlands, not in other countries. I don't speak about another countries. In the Netherlands, which is a very advantage country, where the level of the education, it's very high, it's incredible high. So all the children here, they speak English with every single child, so you can having a conversation like with an adult. So it's very impressive. I mean, the level of the education here in the Netherlands. Yeah. But when I met so these high positioned people in the society, and that they are not personally developed, like, wow, then I realized that there is a huge lack so about the personal development in the society in generally. And it doesn't mean so what position do they have, even if it's a prime minister. I know it's a word, so it sounds weird, even if it's a lower, even if it's, I don't know, a company owner, a business owner. There are so many people out there that they should work at their mindset and personal development. And I'm totally agree with you. So that we can create a specific system for education. What do you think about the education system? How could be changed to the better the education system, especially so in the mentoring and coaching industry? Are you familiar with the mentoring and coaching industry?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Veronica, uh, certain things are very, very clear. It has to be very clearly understood. The problem is, our histories have changed, our geographies have changed. But sadly enough, and unfortunately, our education system has not changed. So, our education system is still the same. It is still the essential byproduct of the 19th century industrial revolution, which still promotes a one size fits all educational structure, which still views all the learners as essentially the same. That is, it views the learners as the finished products of this redundant and an utterly conservative educational system. The system even denies the fact that each and every learner as a child is born with a unique blueprint to create a unique world of difference around him or her. It also denies the basic fact that each and every learner has their own individual likes, dislikes, talents, passion, and interest. So, how can the education system be the same for everyone? It can't be. No two people are similar, you know. And when it comes to children, well, we all know as educators that every child is different. The learning needs, the learning demands, the learning styles, each and everything is different. So, how can you have a uniform kind of an education system which caters to the diverse needs of so many, individual learners? It can't be like that. So, our education system has to be more, customized and more personalized. It has to be more flexible, it has to be more open, productive, meaningful, and essentially stress free. So there is an urgent need. In fact, I would say there is a need for a paradigm shift from a too structured and too organized and too rigid education system to a more open, fruitful,
Flexible.
productive, flexible, and an open and a stress-free teaching learning ecosystem. That is the need of the hour. You know why? Because our conventional education norms teach the young learners to metaphorically draw and color within the lines, and that means to comply and to conform and not to create or to innovate. That is the problem. So we never teach our children to be creative, to be curious, to be innovative. We always teach them to comply, to conform, to obey instructions. So that is the problem. So, the foundation has to change. And as educators, we have to believe that we can bring in a paradigm shift to this education system. And only then, great things can be possible. And as you have rightly said, in order to bring this paradigm shift, I mean, this paradigm shift is not possible unless this shift is first reflected in your own mindset. So the shift has to happen first in you. The shift has to happen first in your mindset. You need to believe in it, and then you can make it happen. That's what I believe.
Yes, I guess that there is a huge difference between the educational systems in different countries around the world, which is absolutely normally because you said that probably in India, the education, they don't teach so the children to be creative, to be flexible. No, in the Netherlands, it's totally different. We are incredible open-minded here. So we are teaching the children to be creative, to be flexible. We teach them how to think. We teach them really how to make connection as well, so with the people, and to improve as well the communication, which is amazing. So as I mentioned it, the level of the education, it's incredible high here. I have a daughter of 21 years, so believe me that she's able to collaborate with companies on a very high level, like making marketing plans, communication plans. It's incredible, really. Like I really respect her, and I'm amazed because of her talent and capabilities. And I think that this is the difference, but we can of course help another countries introducing this system to another countries, the system of education from the Netherlands, which is impressive and which is unique one, because I have studied as well in Netherlands, even if I'm not born here. I'm born in Soviet Union in Russia, but I'm living here since I'm 27. So I studied here communication science, which partially journalistic and business development. And afterwards, so I have been graduated as well as an NLP practitioner. It means so an expert in human mind and behavior. Probably it's my daughter has such a mindset because of my education, I think, because, you know, we as parents, we have a very, very important role in the life of our children and the evolution of their personal development, but of the forming of their identity, you know, as human beings, but as well as a person, as a person in the society. And I'm having honestly very, very open conversation with my daughter, like with you. She has really so open-minded mentality, which you could say that it's incredible. Yeah. She collaborated already with different companies here in the Netherlands on a very high level. Of course, that she has asked me for help to help her with professional copywriting and to make some changements in her projects. And it happened that all the night we should work at one project that she should deliver on time, and that I have helped her so to deliver that project on time. We haven't slept all the night together, but we have achieved so our goal. We have realized that project, which was by the way very, very huge. It was a very huge project. So that's the difference between the education system, but which makes it unique as well and amazing, because you know, having the difference between the education system, then we can connect with each other, we can give examples, we can learn from each other, you know. Because I have participated to another global education conference by Dear Gaurav and Supriya, and it's very impressive. You know, when you are listening different opinions, different education systems around the world, and as well the way how the parents are educating so their children, because the education of our children is our future, and that's what we have to realize. And you know, our children is the reflection of our personalities, of our own education values and terms. And you know, a very huge effect and impact has as well our own education, but as well the way how we communicate to our children and what do we teach our children. So not only to follow the scholar system, you know, that is not enough. It's very important to teach them to be a human being with qualities, with terms and values. It's very important as well to teach them to be respectful, not only towards you as a parent, but as well towards the society, towards our environment. And you know, I am very proud of my daughter, and it makes me incredibly happy because when we are together outside, all the people around there, so they are giving me so many compliments. Like, and I'm very proud so that I educated such personality, which is as well an example for her age, because she speaks 5 foreign languages at this age. So which doesn't happen every single day. I giving this example because it's a part, you know, of the education, not only in the university education systems or schools, but in generally from home. we are calling this, so the 7 years, the first 7 years from home. Yeah, so what do you think about the 7 years of education from home? How does it work in India?
I cannot agree with you more here, because I also believe that as an educator, I believe that the first 7 years are the foundation of any child. These 7 years, and it is said that you know recent studies have shown that the brains of our children during the first 7 years are actually in the theta stage. So they are able to do a subconscious programming during this particular time. 0 to 7 years are so very important. So once we realize this, the problem is the parents and the educators do not realize the importance of the first 7 years in a child's life. If they really do it, then they would be really mindful about what they are speaking to their children on a daily basis. Because each and everything that you say to a child during the 0 to 7 years leaves a permanent imprint in the mind of the child. So you may say as an adult that I was just, jokingly, I was just, telling you that, you will never be able to do anything great. Or it's, you are just a dumb person. You don't understand anything. Nothing will, you can't make anything in life. So you may say that, okay, fine, I'm a mother, right? So I was just jokingly, lovingly telling my child all these things. But had you really understood the importance of brain science, the importance of neuroscience in education, that how very important and significant is 0 to 7 years in a child's life, you wouldn't have made this mistake at all. Because whatever you say, it's going to impact the child in ways which even you cannot imagine. So these years are absolutely very, very important. A lot of learning happens during this particular phase. And also, I would just like to say that it's something very common that we keep on asking our children when they're very young, that what do you want to become when you grow up? Do you want to become a doctor? Do you want to become an engineer? So these are very common questions. So I feel that instead of asking them these cliched questions, what if we start asking them questions like, tell me about a problem that you would like to solve when you grow up? What if we reframe and rephrase the questions? Because once we start asking these kind of questions to our children, I'm sure they would be able to think in a very, very different manner. Their critical thinking, their creativity will be honed, because each and every child is born creative. Each and every child is born inquisitive. You will never find a child who is not creative. Each and every child is creative. Problem is, we sort of, as educators and parents, we sort of tell them that it's not very good if you ask too many questions. So you should not be asking too many questions. You shouldn't be curious about everything. So problem lies with us. So we have to enable, we have to ensure that our children, they have their curious sparks alive in them. They have their creative instincts alive in them. That is the way in which a child will holistically develop into a very, very proper human being. Because I believe that if you really want to raise a generation whom you believe will be creative problem solvers, well, you have to, give them ample scope to pursue the three essential P's, and that is play, passion, and purpose. Because it is only a potent combination of play, passion, and purpose that can actually make a person truly creative. So, if you really want to keep that creative spirit high and burning and alive in each and every child, you have to give them ample scope to fail. You have to give them ample scope to encounter mistakes. Again, this is a very, very big problem because as adults, educators, and parents, we tend to penalize our children when they do mistakes or when they encounter failures. We sort of stigmatize failures and mistakes, which we cannot do. We have to understand that both failures as well as mistakes are essential ingredients of any effective learning experience. It's only through failures, it's only through mistakes that you actually develop, you learn, and you grow in the true sense of the term. Just think about you and me. I mean, how have we evolved? How have we grown? Haven't we encountered mistakes? Haven't we encountered a lot of failures in our lives?
Yes, of course. And many, so this is absolutely normal because making mistakes is not a failure. This is exactly what many people have to understand, because if you are falling, so then it means that you learn. It means that you are evolving. So through the growth process, because if you don't know, so the pain of falling, then how can you transform?
Exactly.
It doesn't exist transformation without making mistakes. And because when you make a mistake, it's giving you as well insight so about yourself, about exactly what you have to transform within yourself. You know, it could be personal development, it could be about habit, it could be as well your vision or even your values, because we change so along the years, and it means that our values, they change as well, our terms as well, but our personality change as well. So we have different lifetime phases when so we are developing ourselves, we are transforming ourselves. So, and it's absolutely normal to make mistake, or many mistakes. It doesn't matter, it depends on how you are, and it depends as well on your interests and what do you want to achieve. And I'm completely agree with you. So it's very normal to make mistakes and to transform. But the most important is when you make the mistakes is to learn from your mistakes. Because if you don't learn from your mistakes, it doesn't make sense. It means that you cannot move forward. I have one more questions about about the leadership for women globally. In your opinion, what do you think that could change so in the leadership for the women around the globe, and how? So to become more themselves and to use more their true potential.
As I have told you earlier, that I strongly believe, and it's not only about my belief, I mean, it's a truth, it's a fact that each and every woman has maybe, the leadership skills inbuilt. You know, they are leaders. Whether they're managing a household, or they are managing an office, or they are managing an entire country or a nation. So they're leaders, you know. So they know the art and science of leadership. And to top that all, they have a tremendous sense of empathy. They have a tremendous sense of compassion, and ability to feel for others. So, which gives a completely different dimension altogether to their sense of, leadership. So, women leadership is, I think, an edge above any other kind of leadership, because that, brings in so much of empathy, compassion, feelings for others, love for others, ability to listen, ability to understand, which is so very crucial. As leaders, you are not here only to give instructions and directions. As a leader, you have to know the way, you have to show the way, and you have to go the way. That is what a true leader is. So I think a woman has that capability, you know. She leads by example. I mean, there are so many challenges in a woman's life. Just consider, you know. So there are so many challenges. She overcomes those challenges and she lifts herself up each and every time she faces a crisis or she faces a challenge in her life. So that is itself a, such a very strong, example in leadership. This is what I believe. And globally, this has been seen that whenever women come in the power of leadership, the nations do much better in terms of everything. Because, you know, the human values, these are intrinsically brought by the women leaders. You know, this, the ability to nurture, the ability to be compassionate and patient listener. So all these things are, you know, very, very vital to become a 21st century leader, I believe, because 21st century leadership is not about showing your arrogance, showing your dominion, and showing how much powerful you are. It's all about a teamwork. It's about making people feel that I'm very much just like you, you know, so I understand what you're going through.
Your true
So
self.
yes. So that is something which is very, very important and very, very vital, I think. But to answer your question in a very concise manner, that how can this be developed globally? Well, uh, I would say there is one, you know, there is one very significant problem facing us women. So, if there is one single thing that we all have been taught or trained to do since our childhood, is how to become good daughters, how to become good sisters, how to become good mothers, how to become good wives. So, how best to take care of others and not to take care of ourselves, not to treat ourselves as important. Problem lies there. So there needs to be a shift in the mindset where we start giving more importance to ourselves. It's time now where this paradigm needs to be changed. And we have to change this paradigm to bring in a lot of women power so that, you know, we create a very, very safe space for women to thrive, where we actually understand that it's so important to place ourselves at the front, to get that seat at the table, the best seat at the table, to love ourselves first, completely and wholly. That is the need of the hour.
Yes, thank you so much for your opinion. I would like to share as well my opinion about the significance of leadership in generally being a woman, because this is of the essential importance. I know that many women about they hesitate to take so their true position as a woman. Dear women, this is a call for all of you. Being a woman, so what does it mean? It means that you are the creator of a life. So if you are giving the birth of your child, just realize your true worth. Not only that, we women, we are educating the world. We are rising up children, even and boys and girls who are becoming adults, and in the society they are a man and a woman. It means that we women, so we should realize our true worth. And it talks enough about leadership, because having all these abilities and capabilities, just being a woman, I don't talk even about education, because the education, the ability of the education, it's already craved in us from our birth, even without realizing this. And so if we are gonna integrate the education of the mindset and leadership. So in the global conference talk show Share Your Life Story Experience, just imagine what can happen. So how many lives can we transform? And how much awareness can we create? A woman, in my opinion, is everything. A woman, she gives birth to everything, you know, on the earth, because a woman is the source of life. A woman is as well the inspiration for warmth, for kindness. A woman is the inspiration, you know, to giving love, but as well to receiving love. And being a woman, when you realize all these aspects that they are existing already, so in ourselves, it, you know, it's priceless. You cannot compare with anything. And if we are gonna educate in a such way, so the women's around the globe, so integrating the mindset and the leadership skills, because leadership is about being able to listen and to transform the life of another people. Leadership is as well about, you know, being an example, a role model, and being flexible. When you are a leader, so you are admiring, so all the people around you, giving them the opportunity to grow with you together and helping them out there to grow, to improve, so the quality of their life. And this is leadership. And not only that, much more. So being able as well to communicate in a human way with the people, being humble, you know, despite the fact that someone calls me, despite the fact so that someone is a leader has the ability and the capability to be humble. Because when you are humble, you are reaching out millions of people despite so your level of knowledge. Because everything starts with your inner power, being able to listen and to understand the people who really needs your help. I want to thank you for this wonderful talk show, Shauli. You are an amazing woman and an amazing leader for many women, I think, so around the globe. I want to thank you, all the people that have been online with us today. And I want to remember every single time that our talk show is for educators, trainers, mentors, coaches, therapists, healers, and public speakers. So if you want to contribute to the transformation of another people's lives, then you are welcome. So don't forget as well to support our talk show by liking so our talk show and sharing as well with another people, because doing this you are gonna help to transform the life of another people. Thank you to you all, many blessings, and take care.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Veronica. It had been a real pleasure.
To me too, likewise.